Coffee and tools, take one. I took one scrap pallet and made different projects from the lumber that I took. Now the pallet itself was in really bad shape and been left out in the weather forever, God knows. But it was left in a forest, found the pallet, dragged it home, took what goodie I could find out of the pallet. And I just suddenly realized the other day I think I should just show some of the products that came out of that one pallet. And first we'll do is we'll take a look at the pallet itself, and hopefully you can see the picture right now. Yeah, welcome back. And that from that one pallet I made quite a number of different projects, and so we're going to take a look at the different projects or the different products that came from the pallet when we come back. Glad you could stop by this week. The products made actually number 6, and at this point 6 products. I actually still have a little bit of board left from the pallet that I'll still be working with. I've run them through a planer, so I'm going to show you a picture of what they look like after they've gone through the planer. Those are just some pieces, just some chunks of pallet. And that's all that's left from the very first pallet. But from that very first pallet, 6 items. That is incredible. So we're going to just roll through the pictures, I guess, and take a look at those pallet projects. The little computer toolbox. I have tools here all over the place. I have lots of tools. But around the computer in the office, all I had was a little Tupperware thing, and I just kept throwing screwdrivers in it. So with the pallet lumber, actually one of the very first projects was to go ahead and make a little tool tray that would hold my drivers, hold my little meter, and put all the little, pentalobe and all those fancy little screwdrivers in a place where they could be with the computers, and I'd have like a toolbox that's just for working in that office instead of working out in the shop today, like out in the field here today with all these tools. And that was the first project I knocked out. But then you're going to see some simple stuff, just jigs used. One of the things that I didn't show was the crosscut piece that I made for the saw. That 2 runners on the sides that are oak, those are scrap pieces from pallet lumber. So that's really cool. The bad news I'm hearing out there right now is that pallets could be starting to cost as much as $25 for a used one. I'm hearing that story. Not good news. I'm hoping we get away from that. The main reason for the $25 charge is apparently a lot of people are taking the pallet, cutting it in half, and using it on the wall as a wine rack. So, yeah, hip, 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 hooray to the yippies again, I guess. I don't know. So this week we just did the pallets. Hopefully next week we'll get back to some other topics like projects. And for the longest time, pallets were, you could find them just laying anywhere in the streets, beside dumpsters, out in industrial parks. People just pile them up in a field, even just leave them and abandon them. Little woodworkers like myself, we get that pallet and we can make all kinds of happy stuff with that pallet. So pallets are not that bad. Thanks for stopping this week and just looking in on us. Next week, I think we're going to be heading in another direction, but just wanted to really cover the pallets this week because one pallet making that many products was pretty impressive, and hopefully I don't have to pay $25 a pallet. I am not paying $25 a pallet. Yeah. So $25 a piece for pallet lumber, I think that's awfully high. I hope that somebody that told me that was, I hope they're wrong, or maybe there's a reason behind it that I'm not following up on. Because pallet lumber is pretty good, but it's not kiln dried, it's not really, it's not a proper piece of work that's ready for a project in most cases. Pallet lumber is pretty raw and it's not treated, so you're going to get cracking and a lot of different problems. So a lot of the pallet lumber, such as this piece right here, you might want to nip this off and get away from, something like this where there's a knot in the wood. And then you want to clean it up, and by the time you get done with it, it's so much labor intense at times. If you actually had to buy a pallet such as $25, I think I'd just go to the lumber store and just buy lumber. But hey, Thanks for looking in this week, and hopefully next week at Coffee and Tools we're going to get us some more tools and some more projects and some wood and oh God knows whatever. Until then, see ya.